Do you know what he made his first year? He said he made $100,000 his first year. I think he said he was washing windows. Okay, then. So if a 17-year-old can figure out how to make six figures his first year, he didn't have a college degree. He didn't probably have a high school degree yet, right? He probably did not have his high school diploma. Hey, sales hunters, welcome to season 2 of Beyond the Business Plan, where heart meets hustle and every episode inspires you on your entrepreneurial journey. I'm LeAnn Lyon, and together we'll chart new courses, tackle challenges, and celebrate those big wins with expert guests, honest stories, and plenty of joy along the way. If you love the show, tap follow, subscribe, leave a quick review, or join our conversation with hashtag JoyMinder, because your support helps us reach and inspire more entrepreneurs. Set sail on your business adventure with Beyond the Business Plan. Have you ever thought about this? What if every setback and every win and every lesson in the last year was setting the stage for an even bigger breakthrough? Woo! Welcome to season 2 of Beyond the Business Plan. My name is LeAnn Lyon. I am your host. I am so blessed to be here. Season 2 already. And so I want to take a little bit of time to extend some gratitude for everything that's gone on since this all started, and just do a little reflecting as well. So I'm going to start with a little story here. A year ago, I had a different podcast. I was on a different platform, and it just was different. I had a different name for the show, but I thought it was fine. Everything was fine. At this time last year, I also had some broken bones, but they'll heal. And I was learning things, but I didn't even realize that I was learning them. With the broken bones specifically, I was learning how to actually get in better shape without relying on exercise, because with a broken rib in my back and a broken foot, I couldn't exercise. And then a few other things happened throughout the year. I'm not going to get into all of it, but there were just things that were peeling away from my life, including, by the way, the network where my previous podcast was hosted. And that wasn't the only thing. And as I went through all of these things, I was thinking, what, literally, God, I don't take his name in vain. What's going on here? What's happening? Why is this happening to me? I didn't lose faith at all, but I definitely questioned, like, why, I thought I was clear on the plan. I thought we were going to do this. I thought it was going this direction. And as things peeled away, I realized there was something else. But what? And so as more and more things peeled away, I started questioning, like, do I know anything? And one of the things that I immediately started to do is reset how I was going to do this podcast. So if you know much about me or about my company, JoyMinder, we're all about those breakthroughs, that getting through to the next thing. That's how I started JoyMinder back in 2019. So naturally, when things fell down, I just got up and started moving again. But this time it was a little bit different. This time I paused a little bit longer. And I thought, what am I really supposed to be doing? Am I even supposed to be podcasting? I got a very quick answer to that one. Like within a couple hours, I was actually interviewing the person who ended up being my second show of my first season, Cheryl Devon. And I said, I'm not even sure if I should do this. And she said, you should definitely be doing this. And there's a whole story there. Go back and listen to that episode. It was really fun. But there's times in our lives when we just don't see the path that we're on, even though it might be the right path. So as I started, okay, I'm going to redo my podcast. I'm going to rename my podcast. I'm going to rebrand. And it was all go, go, go. And it felt hard, but I also knew it was only a piece of a bigger puzzle. And so I kept asking, what's the bigger piece? What's the bigger puzzle? And it was crickets. Like, okay, so, but, there's got to be more than this. Although, trust me, I love doing this. If this is all I did all day long, yes, it would be a very good life. And I am doing more of this now, which is really fun. But I kept having to wait. And then in July, another breakthrough happened. Another breakthrough that said, you know what, here's what we're going to do with Joyminder. And we created the sailing system, SAILING system. And you can find that at joyminder.com and you can see what that's like. And then that ended up being, I think, 5 of my shows last season as well. So, starting with episode 22, I introduced what the sailing system was. Then I went through each of the letters, S and A together, I and L together, and so forth through the whole thing, what each stage means, and how they serve somebody that's going from burnout of some sort, whether it's in your own business or as a professional, that you just realize you're not doing what's really the call on your heart. The sailing system brings you through from thinking about it to launching to growing a business. And so that I didn't see, I didn't have in place. I didn't even know it existed when I started season 1 on June 3rd of this year, 2025. So here we are, suddenly, October 1st, season 2. I want to explain a few things about my company just because you might be thinking, why would you have a season that starts on October 1st? I do 3 rounds of things in my business. 3 times a year, I host a summit. Before each summit is the beginning of the season. The summit is the conclusion of each season in my business. So in the world, we have fall, spring, summer, winter. Well, in Minnesota, it feels like winter a lot more than that. But in my business, I have 3 seasons. I didn't name them, although that's a good idea. Maybe I will. Good idea. Maybe next year. And so season 2 begins October 1st, and it will end after the next summit, which is coming up in January. This year, it will be January 20th through 23rd. If it's Tuesday through Friday, I can guarantee that. You can already get a ticket for it. Free tickets. Go join it. We already have our lineup started for our speakers. We'll have them online and you'll be able to see them by the end of October and see who's going to be there, what they're going to be talking about. It's going to be a phenomenal lineup. We are going to make a couple little changes. We're changing the name. After years, I've been doing my summit since 2020. We called it the Restart Your Business Summit. And the feedback that I've been getting is that people who have existing businesses weren't really feeling that the summit could be for them. And it totally is. If you go back to the September summit, we had just incredible speakers that could completely speak into life what existing entrepreneurs need. We had the head of relationships from RSS.com talking about why every business owner needs to have a podcast. But also, we had an owner of a publishing company come in and not really just talk about publishing, but really utilizing AI in your business in ways that you probably never thought about. We had mindset speakers. We had a dear friend who's a speaker as well come in and share her story of launching her book. And she has a book called Live Well, Travel Far because she's running her business while traveling and living her life. So, phenomenal speakers. These are not speakers just for people who are starting a business, although they're truly inspirational, but also for us existing speakers. And that's another breakthrough that I had over doing season 1. Every conversation felt like another step in my own growth, in my own understanding. As I talked with every single business owner, I was learning things as well. That summit, my to-do list is so long now. To get everything ready for another amazing summit in January, but also how I'm putting things together. So there are going to be some changes. The new name of the summit, let's see, I think I'll call it the Beyond the Business Plan Summit. So we're tying the summit and the show together. Makes a lot of sense because all of my speakers will be on the show as well. They will start speaking in the beginning of December. The number of speakers that I have dictates how many episodes we'll be releasing, but they will all have their episodes released prior to the summit so you can get a taste of who they are and what they're talking about. And then they'll give you completely fresh new content during the summit. So this is all getting put together a little more logically. We also moved our website in the middle of last season. So, season one, I'm moving my website, I'm rethinking things. It was just crazy. But if you want to see the new website, you can go to joyminder.com and I'll put it on the screen here. Joyminder.com. From there, you can get to the podcast, get to the summit, and I'm redoing how you'll access resources, coaches, tools, lifestyle ideas, and I may even sometime this maybe this season have another exciting opportunity showing up around the concept of lifestyle for entrepreneurs. But you might have to wait till season 3. Haven't decided that one yet. Okay, moving forward. There's just been so much goodness. So we developed the sailing system. We started a whole new website. We're now rebranding the summit. And by the way, the tagline for the summit is going to be start or refresh your business strategies. So you can really understand that, even if you're not just starting a business, you can come in to be refreshed because we all need that sometime. I think that was a theme that I heard from so many of my guests. What did you need? And people talked about mentors, and people talked about community and having some place to go when they had questions. And we're developing that more and more within Joyminder as well. If you go to joyminder.com/contacts, you'll see we have a couple of community opportunities already, and we'll be expanding that throughout this season. Now, what is the podcast really going to be about? We're changing that too, a little bit, but not so much. I think what we're doing is giving you more of what you really love, in that every single episode after today, all the way through the whole season, is mostly going to be the guests, the interviews with experienced entrepreneurs, asking them about their lives and their process, and how do they go from sometimes being a W-2 employee to being a 1099 to being a business owner. And we have all types of people coming in. I actually met somebody just the other day. I'll be recording with her shortly. And their question was, who do you typically interview? And it was so fun to say, wow, everyone. In the next coming weeks, I have a top network marketer who has just made a huge difference in her life and the life of her family. I've got a pastor that's coming up, and he'll be talking about his experience with business, but also faith. We have another network marketer that, and this is not a network marketing podcast. I just happen to have two coming up this season, but I have so many others. I have an immigration lawyer that I'll be talking to, and his experience. You won't believe the books that this guy has written. It's really fascinating. So you never know where these shows are going to go. You may have heard me ask the same one or two questions one or two times, but I do not send out a question list to my guests. I really just go with it. In fact, one of my fun experiences last season was interviewing a gentleman who lives in Costa Rica. And I think the first 5 or 10 minutes, we were talking about his life on an island and my aspirations to live on a boat and what was it all about. And I think he actually asked the question, is this a business show? But it is, because it's all about inspiring people to think a little bigger, push those boundaries of what does it mean to be a business owner. It doesn't mean always what you think. Don't get locked into, well, if I'm going to start a business, it's going to be this way. I'm sure I've told this story at least once, but there was once a time when I was driving Uber to make some extra money. I had a gentleman in my back seat who said, "Man, I'd love to start a business, but I have to make the money and go to college and get the degree." And this is just a mindset that he had of what it meant to be a business owner, that you had to have a certain level of education. And it's just not true. Anyone can start. I mean, I just was at a conference last week, and one of the owners at the conference was on stage, and he said, I grew up poor. I grew, we did not have money. So when I was 17, I started and it was just the kind of business that a 17-year-old could start. Mowing lawns, washing windows, doing the kind of manual labor that doesn't hurt a 17-year-old's body. They don't get creaky and sore, right? So that's what he went out and did. Do you know what he made his first year? He said he made $100,000 his first year. I think he said he was washing windows. Okay, then. So if a 17-year-old can figure out how to make six figures his first year, he didn't have a college degree. He didn't probably have a high school degree yet, right? He probably did not have his high school diploma. So we just get stuck in our mindsets. Well, if I'm going to own a business, then I have to have an office. Maybe, maybe not. But maybe your office is on a boat or in a camper or in a car or in a tent. Maybe your office is on the next mountain you're climbing while you're doing it. And you don't have to. There's a lot of people who would say, ugh, that sounds awful. I don't want to do that. Great. Then don't. Then don't. Joyminder is not about helping you be me or fall into my systems or live my way. It's just an expression of finding joy, having that mindset of joy, that you live your dreams, that you develop your business. But I do want to make things easier for you because there are some things you don't have to go through that I did, like finding really great tools that really work or really great coaches to help you at every stage of your business. And that's what we're putting together at Joyminder so that you can check out the resources. We're not putting you into a system, we're not telling you how to do things. I will give you advice if you wish, but you have to ask for that. I'm not the coach, but I have so many coaches who love to coach, and I will make the introduction for you once I understand what you need, what you want, what are your values, what are your desires. That's what we're putting together. And the podcast is part of it because as I talk with these people, sometimes I realize that they should be on the summit. And sometimes I realize that they've just got a really great story that we can continue to share in the world to continue to inspire starting, restarting, and refreshing the entrepreneurial journey. So there we go. That is pretty much everything that I wanted to share. My reflections from season one, things that happened in season one that I didn't see coming, but I'm so grateful happened. The sailing system, I really know that this can be a blessing for many people. It's a blessing for my business as well. And let's just keep moving forward in season two. We are making one other change. There is only one drop per week. Season one, we were doing 2 drops per week. We're going to 1 drop per week, but they're going to be always interviews, unless I just want to do one. If I get it in my bee in my bonnet while I'm on vacation to drop another episode, I'm going on vacation. Ah, so exciting. Maybe I will, and then that'll be a bonus episode. But other than that, I have 20 episodes planned for season 2. They will run through the end of January. February 1st, we begin season 3. So that's the plan. We've got the summit coming up. Go get your ticket already. We've got lots of great people coming up. I will be working to get the websites updated so you know when they're coming up and even sign up to be part of the premiere as their episodes launch. They will launch at 5:55 in the morning on Tuesday morning Central Time and every Tuesday all the way through the end of January. Finally, I'm going to end with this. I want to hear from you. Whether you want to comment on this episode, on any of my other episodes, my favorite personal episodes, last season, 16, when I talked about systems, I was so passionate about that one. It was just fun. If you're looking for systems or you want to understand how systems can change your life, go back to season 1, episode 16. Episode 22 and On, where I really dug into the sailing system. It's a really great series. I'll be putting that together in different ways. I thought I would be going through that whole system again this season, and upon reflection, I just didn't feel like that's necessarily what I'm going to do. But if the opportunity comes up and I'm moved differently, then I will do something different. I want to hear from you though. Comment on these shows. If you want to, you can post on social media. Look for our social media. Use hashtag JoyMinder, JoyMinder, hashtag JoyMinder, and get our attention. We are on Facebook actively. We are consolidating all of our Facebook accounts into one Facebook account, which is called JoyMinder Lifestyle. Because as a business owner, we don't want you to just have a business. We want you to have a life. So JoyMinder Lifestyle is our Facebook account. We've got JoyMinder Solutions on YouTube, of course, and we're active and getting more reactivated on LinkedIn. So those are our big ones. But I'm also going on to Instagram. I have some really cool ideas for some things that we'll do exclusively on Instagram, so find us there as well. We'd love to hear back from you. We'd love to have the engagement. Email, you're going to have a hard time finding an email from me because I just don't do it. But find me on social media, connect with me in messages, Messenger, things like that, and I'd love to communicate with you that way. So as we wrap up here, I just want to say once again, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking the clips. Thank you for feedback. Thank you for if you've been a guest on my show, if you've supported a guest from my show, if you've bought something from a guest on my show or gotten a free download from a guest on my show. I would love to hear that. Put it in the comments. That would be great. But most of all, I want to give you permission as listeners to really dream bigger. Let my show be part of you dreaming bigger. Maybe you're not even an aspiring business owner, although that is who the show is typically for. But dream bigger. I'm going to end with this story here. I had a conversation with a friend recently who is currently looking for work. And I said, you know what? I know you're looking for work. I know you're qualified, you're amazing. And just out of curiosity, just playfully, if you could do anything, and she's about my age, so we're saying, not closer to 30. And I said, but if you could do anything, what's one thing that you wanted to do when you were a kid that you've never been able to do, that you've never done, that you haven't even come close to doing? And she goes, oh, there's really nothing. And I said, really? And after she thought a moment, she did say, I think it would be so much fun to have to do something on YouTube or to be on TV, I think she said, actually. I think it'd be so much fun to be on TV. And she described exactly what she would do on TV. And it has to do with real estate and landscaping and things like that. And I thought, you know what? That's great. What's stopping you? YouTube's free. You can start a YouTube channel where you go out and do that right now. And by the way, while you're unemployed and it's still beautiful outside, this would be a great time to do that. So we talked a little bit more about it, and then I was able to give her some resources to, hey, check this out. I have a resource where you can get started with a really great coach who will teach you everything you need to know about YouTube. And it's $1 for the first month of access to all that he offers. So it's really cool. You want to check out that resource for sure. If for some reason it's not up yet, because I am working on those resources, just reach out. I'll get the link to, or you can actually find it in my former website. If you go under curated coaches, you'll see the big $1. And who knows? Did we plant a seed that day? We haven't reconnected since that time, but I like to think that we can plant seeds. Maybe they're not going to grow this fall. It is fall right now. It's October 1st. And there's a lot of things that go into the ground in the fall that get frozen over winter, but they become beautiful in the spring and next summer. So just because you're not doing it now doesn't mean you're never going to do it. Plant those seeds, give them some water, dream bigger, start the sailing system, because S is all about introspection, checking your values, all the different things. So go ahead, download the sailing system. It's free. Dream a little bigger, and I'd really love to hear from you. Jump in on our communities, whether it's on social media or the Zoom calls every week. And with that, I'm done. Thank you for joining me on this season 2 launch of Beyond the Business Plan to unleash your joyful business potential. So please like or subscribe for weekly inspiration and keep spreading joy, leading with heart. And I'll catch you next time. I'm LeAnn Lyon, Chief Joy Officer of Joyminder, wishing you fair winds and a joyful voyage. Hey, sales setters, do you need energy without the crash? Check out the lifestyle section in our resources on joyminder.com/resources for delicious, healthier coffee alternatives to boost your focus and fuel your hustle. Skip the jitters, love your brew. You can also go directly to whyilovemycoffee.com, and I'll see you there. Thank you for sailing with us, sales setters. Remember, your journey goes beyond the business plan. So keep charting your own course, leading with heart, and tuning in for more joy and inspiration. Find all the resources and connections in the show notes below, and your support means the world to us. So join our conversation at #JoyMinder, or simply share your favorite takeaways in the comments section below. Until next time, set your sails for success.